My next guest, seated to my left, I tell you what, she's a very lovely lady. Many television credits, and I'm very happy. She's first time here at the Collector Show, and it is Cathy Lee Crosby. And Cathy, thank you for coming on the show.
Jeff, this is great. It's great to be here. And, you know, I noticed I have more fringe on than you. Yeah. Now, this is not good.
Yeah, you do, huh? That is a very nice jacket. You went Western.
I am Western. As you probably know, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, they were my godparents. Yes. And I grew up with Cheryl, who's across the way, and many stories like she peeing in the sandbox, which she, of course, has denied. But yeah. So that was my upbringing.
She did deny that, by the way.
Oh, she didn't deny it. That's good. That's good.
But you know, this is your first Hollywood Collector Show.
This is the first time I've ever done anything like this.
Now, what do you think about it so far?
You know, it's fascinating because you meet people that you would have no chance to meet otherwise, that know more about you and remember more about you than you remember. And remember when you did this, and I saw you there, and the movie here, and the part there, and the play you did.
Exactly.
That amazes me.
What does a Hollywood Collector Show mean to you?
You know, I never thought of myself as being important enough to anybody would want to collect something. Quite honestly. So I'm honored to be here. Number one, I'm kind of shocked about it. I'm shocked at the amount of people and the fans that are here. I'm overwhelmed. It's just been, it's actually a wonderful feeling.
You're looking good, by the way.
Well, thank you so much.
You know, going back to your career, what is the one thing that stands out in your mind as the most memorable in your career?
Well, my favorite is our movies. I love to do feature films because the kind of freedom that you have and being on the big screen, and there's something very romantic and wonderful. But I have to say, that's incredible, of course. Has a big spot in my heart because it was 7 years of this wonderful, wacky experience that made me a household name, that kind of thing. And who would have thought?
And it was on ABC. Now, your co-host was John Davis, and he really did have the big dimples, didn't he? And who was the other co-host?
Fran Tarkenton, the football player.
And how are they doing today?
They are doing great. I keep up with them both. I'm particularly close with Fran. We talk all the time.
Okay.
And he doesn't work, All he does is play golf. So,
nice job, you can get it.
Yeah, nice job if you can get it.
Okay, now tell me about your film debut, Cathy.
My first film has never been released to this day. It's called Call Me by My Rightful Name from the Broadway show. And it was a love story between a black man and a white man who were best friends. And the girl, myself, is dating the white guy. And he finds out through the course of their relationship that she had once dated the black guy.
Oh.
It's a very famous Broadway show and very interesting, written by Michael Shurtleff. And it's never been released.
Well, I know how that feels. I've done 3 films and none of them got released.
That was it. But the first real one was The Dark, and right after that was Laughing Policeman with Walter Matthau and Bruce
That's
Dern.
a classic one. Yeah.
That was a great experience.
Do you have your favorite movie?
You mean
your favorite that you're in? Yeah.
I might have to say either the Dark or Coach. There's something that's very because I got to bring in my athleticism. So in a way, I kind of like that one. Yeah.
Where are you originally from, Cathy Lee?
I was born and raised in Los Angeles and San Francisco. Okay. So I'm a California girl.
Now, if you could go back and change anything, would you go back and change anything, or you just like the way everything fell into place?
Both the good and the not so good and the in-between is what makes you who you are. It gives you your heart. So to say I'd change anything, I wouldn't have the heart that I have today. Have I made mistakes? Of course. Do I wish I could, clean up a few things or whatever? Yeah. But I love the experience. I love being alive. I love what I've done, and I can't wait for my new series to come out and keep going.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to say just because, not because you're sitting next to me, but I've always had a little crush on you, during. That's incredible. And I'm here, right in the flesh, right here. And you know what? What are you doing for the millions of fans seeing you today? What is the one thing that you're doing now so the fans can look forward to seeing you in?
It's a series for NBC called Revelations, and we are keeping our fingers crossed. The pilot goes on in September, and if it picks up, we'll know by the end of May, actually, and we start shooting in June.
Good.
So that would be just heaven.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. Now, what's easier for you, television or movies?
For me, because I love it, it's my passion, is I love to do feature films because there's much more going on. There's much more, it's much more intimate in that sense from an artistic standpoint. But television, they're getting some good shows from CSI, a lot of good shows,
Real
cold
good
cases.
shows. Yeah.
And this show, Revelations, is the best script I've ever read in
No
my
kidding.
entire career.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
And it is so phenomenal. It's written by David Seltzer, who is a very well-known feature writer.
Yeah.
And he's executive producer, and it's incredible.
Speaking about, that's incredible. What is the one story, Cathy Lee, that it really does hit your memory? That one, there's a lot of incredible stories. But what's the one that really hits home?
Well, there are two.
Okay.
One is we were sitting at a table, and there's crystal and china and silverware, and it was John and I and this gentleman from Australia. And so they set something with a big dome in front of him.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what does, and he said, well, and he takes off the dome, and there's a huge live crab. Now I'm thinking that this crab does tricks or something.
Right.
The next thing I know, this man has taken up the crab and he eats it, starts eating it alive.
Oh.
And he's going, first you have to eat the eyes so it doesn't see, and then you have to eat the brain. By this point, and I'm going like this to the producer, like, cut.
That's incredible.
It was And the other thing was, it was terrible. They always loved to surprise me. They didn't want me to know what was coming up. And one time, I said, and tonight we have the Albinis. And it was a family of 7 people. I didn't know what was happening. They opened the door, and there are 7 albino, white hair, pink eyes, dressed all alike.
No kidding.
So it was the Albinis, the albino Albinis. And I lost it. I didn't even think about it.
Do they have that on a blooper reel?
Yes, they do.
Oh, I would love to see that.
We couldn't get through this. I couldn't talk to them. I'm like crying. Everybody's laughing. The cameraman, everybody's walking away. It was one of those moments when we never got it on the show.
Well, I tell you what, I'd love to see that on the blooper reel sometime.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Cathy Lee is here signing autographs, and all the fans can come up and greet Cathy Lee and get an autograph signed picture by Cathy Lee Crosby. And I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. You look so nice. I hope that you come back. I know you're coming back tomorrow, right?
Yes, I'm coming back tomorrow, and I look forward to. This is the first chance I've ever had to say thank you to my fans and the people that have been out there and made me successful. So I look forward to seeing you.
Well, thank you very much. I hope you have a very good evening and a wonderful day tomorrow. This is Cathy Lee Crosby, everybody. Thank God for you.
Oh, thank you so much.